Hello everyone, welcome to Cooking with Friends. My name is Cynthia Triolo and I'm the chef instructor for the Friends of the Frelinghuysen Arboretum. So today we're going to make a dish that's called Risi e Bisi. It's basically rice and peas. It's a traditional dish from Venice made on April 25th for the Feast of San Marco. And I thought that this would be a nice way to use fresh peas and celebrate spring. It's a pretty simple recipe. The original recipe was from a book by Marcella Hazan, who's a really famous Italian cookbook author, and she's written several books on classic Italian cooking. If you don't have them already, excuse me one second, this is my timer. If you don't have them already, you might want to look for them, because if you want to have recipes for real Italian cooking, those are the books that we love. So I have all my ingredients ready to go, and like I said, it's basically it's a pretty simple dish. So I'm going to start here. I have some butter already in the pan, and I'm going to saute some onions, a couple of tablespoons. This is about a half of a small onion that I've already chopped. So I'm going to add that to my pan that has half a stick of butter that's already been melted. And what I want to do is cook these onions until they're translucent, just about. In this other pot here, I have my stock that I'm bringing to a simmer, so that's ready for me when I'm ready to go. I have the rice already measured out. This is a type of rice that's traditionally used for this dish. It's called violone nano, and it's similar to Arborio. I actually ordered this on Amazon, which is where I've been getting a lot of my dry goods lately. But you could use a regular Arborio or a Carniolo rice, anything that you would use for a risotto. So, but there is a difference. We're not making a risotto here. We're really making more of a soup, albeit a rather thick soup. And the procedure is a little bit different. I am warming up my stock, and as soon as the onions are ready, it's going to give them a little bit of a stir, just until they're translucent. I'm not looking for any browning. And once that's ready, I'm going to add my peas and the rice, and a little bit of salt. There we go. So these are just about ready. I have my peas already. Now, truth be told, I'm using frozen peas because we are filming this video at the end of January, and I just can't get fresh peas right now. But the dish is really best if you make it with fresh peas. But you can do it with frozen too. It is delicious still. So here I have my shallow pan. The onions are looking really good. I don't know if you can hear that or see it, but they're pretty translucent right now. I'm going to add my rice to the dish. Give that a little stir. I'm just using a cup. And I'm going to add my peas. Give that a stir. I'm going to add in just a little bit of salt. I'm using kosher salt. And my stock is simmering, so that's ready to go as well. So when you're going to start this dish, you want to have everything measured out, of course. You want to have your stock on so that when you're ready to add it, it's already simmering. I'm using chicken stock here, but you could certainly do this and keep it all vegetarian by using a vegetable stock. So this is all ready to go. Mixed in, I'm going to cover it. And I'm using a kind of a shallow, larger pan here, heavy bottomed. You could do it also in a soup pot if you don't have something that's this size. And I'm going to turn down the heat just a little because I want it to come to a simmer. And I'm going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. That's all it takes. You want to stir it occasionally so you can't just let it go, walk away from it. But it's, like I said, it's a pretty simple dish to make. So I've got this one going, but as you heard my timer go off, I have another batch that I started right before we started filming that I made in another pot just so you could see the finished product and how to finish it. So I'm going to move this pan off to the side and onto another burner for heat. Get that going again. And I'm going to move this one here. So you can see I have it covered. The nice thing about this pot, it's quite large. It's a 12-inch. And this is my official risotto pot. But it does have a cover that's glass, so I can see through and I can see what's happening. So I'm feeling like this is done. You heard the timer go off, like I said before. That was my 20 minutes, so I wouldn't forget about it. And now it's time to finish it. So let me put this aside. And here I have some grated Parmigiano Reggiano. You want to use the best cheese that you can get. I've grated it just on a box grater. And I have some fresh Italian parsley that this is the flat leaf parsley that I've already chopped so that I'm ready. One of the things that I'm going to add to this that's actually not in your recipe, but you could certainly do this if you can get a hold of, is adding pea shoots to it. So since I was using frozen peas for this recipe, I thought I would add some pea shoots right at the end just to give it a little more of that nice pea flavor. So let me get my tasting spoon. Now, if you remember, I put a little bit of salt in when we started cooking, but I do want to taste this to make sure to check the salt, and I haven't added pepper yet. And I think it needs a little bit more salt and some freshly grated pepper. I should say freshly ground pepper. Give that a stir. I'm going to add my cheese. I'm going to leave a little bit back so that we can bring that to the table. And if people would like a little bit more, they can certainly add it. I'm going to stir that in. And one thing to be mindful of too is if you're adding Parmigiano Reggiano to this, that is a salty cheese, so you don't want to add too much right in the beginning, but we'll taste it again. And I'm going to add my fresh parsley. And I've stopped the cooking. And then I'm going to add some of the pea shoots. And this, you know, just to give it some nice fresh green to bring to the table. I'll show you what this looks like. First, I do want to taste it and make sure it's okay for service. And I think that's nicely seasoned. I'm going to tip my pot so you can see it. So this is really considered a soup by by most people, but it's, like I said, rather thick. If you'd like it a little bit thinner, you can certainly add some more of whatever stock it is you're using. If you like it thick like this, which I kind of do, you can leave it as is. So I had all my ingredients ready before we started filming. I started to cook this, and it takes about 20 minutes to cook. So all told, not more than a half an hour to make. So it's definitely something you could do after work, getting home, if you're going out to work. But I know most of us are working from home these days. But it's real quick and it's really delicious. And in the springtime, when fresh peas are available, either if you're growing your own, or getting them from the farmer's market, it's really delicious and it's a great way to use them. So I'm going to plate up the Risi Bisi in one of my bowls. I have a spoon here, and we'll be ready to go. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of the pea shoots on top, and there you go. Risi Bisi, 25 minutes or less. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me here in my kitchen. And thank you always to the friends for making this possible. If you're not a friend, I hope you'll join, because, you know, we all need more friends. So thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Thanks for joining me. Happy cooking. Thank you.